This video illustrates one of two methods for entering an apprentice's monthly work record. Time entry will be made using a timesheet to record the work performed by the apprentice each day. You can use the entry method described here on an iOS or Android device. Time recording using timesheets will be used for line, substation, cable splicer, traffic signal, URD, and transmission programs and will be due by midnight on the 10th day of the following month. First, begin by downloading your Timesheet app. Go to your App Store. In the search box, type Unit 4 space Timesheets. If you'll notice, we want the Unit 4 Timesheet Basic. We don't want any of the references, the extension references such as M4 or Citrix. Go ahead and make your selection of the Unit 4 Basic. Notice your icon and your title. Go ahead and download your app to your phone. It's free. Once downloaded, close your App Store and open your browser, your mobile device browser, to the albat.org website. Sign in to your apprentice portal. Sign in, apprentice, and click your apprentice. It'll take you to your web portal. Enter your username, client, and password, and log in. Once you've logged in, go to your apprentice community screen and find the box titled Links for Apprentices. Copy the URL link which will be used when you open the app. Sign out of your web portal. Open your Timesheet app. Now paste the URL that you retrieved into the box and press Next. Now enter your username and password. Enter your Timesheet app. You'll initially notice two periods, one being August 1st through August 31st, the other September 1st through the 30th. Initially, you'll be entering your time for the August 1st through 31st period. Notice also that there are a total number of hours that are available in the month. There are 24 hours a day, and there are 31 days in August. That represents, the 744 is what is representative of that period. The 27 hours, I've entered some hours initially into the app, and that's what appears there. So you see what hours out of that month that I've initially entered. Click on the August 1st to 31st time period. The first screen that you'll come to is the detail that I've entered for the work performed on August 1st, August 2nd, August 5th. And continuing on, you see that I have not entered any time for any other days of the month. I'll demonstrate how to enter hours for work being performed on August 6th. Notice there are 24 hours available in that day. Go ahead and hit the plus sign. The first screen that you'll come to are recent entries that were made for work being performed. You can quickly enter your timesheet by clicking any one of these. There are several already because I've entered time. You can click those. Let's do that. We'll say that our work involved distribution underground, single phase, energized new construction. We used aerial equipment that day, and it involved protective grounding. And we were working on a distribution system. Our show up location was 123 Main Street, Big City, Kentucky. If you performed that work on August 6th, you can click that. Go ahead and enter the hours related to that work and only that work. And simply hit done. You've made your entry for that day. You can now save the work for that day. And now for August 6th, we now see that we've performed 1 hour's worth of the protective grounding work. Now let's enter work for August 6th. Hit your plus sign. None of the work that listed that we've done in the previous past is what is being done. We're doing a job site briefing for that day. We want to record that. So go ahead and hit the plus sign again. Under time code, select that. You can either enter the time code or you can just simply hit search. Search will give you the drop down of the work that you can select. Let's select the work that we're doing that day was distribution overhead single phase, new construction. Go ahead and select project. Again, you can enter the code or description as you become acclimated to using the Timesheet product app. You'll be able to type things in and search faster, but you can simply hit search, get the drop down. The single phase work that we did that day involved climbing. I'm sorry, no. Let's go back. Let's correct that. It involved no climbing because we're going to record a job briefing. So now click activity, hit your search, locate the description for the job briefing, select your job briefing, note the hours associated with it. Again, you can note these in quarter-hour increments. Enter the address of your show-up or reporting location. And finally, enter the system being worked. You've now entered your time, the time associated with your job site briefing for that day. And now you've entered the time for that day. Let's change the job site briefing to reflect the quarter hour rather than the 1 hour. So go ahead and click the hours, open the hours, note it as 1/4 of an hour, and hit save. Now we've reflected the job site briefing for that day that was given that day. And of course we have our protective grounding work. Let's make one more entry for the 6th. Again, hit your plus arrow. Again, hit your plus. Let's describe our work. This time we're using a bucket to do the work. In the activity involved conductor, cross arms and insulators because we're installing new insulators. We note the hours associated with the work. Provide our reporting location information. And finally note the system worked on. Now we have an accounting of the work that we performed that day. We've performed 7¼ hours of noted 7¼ hours worth of work. Of course, we've worked a 10-hour day. We'll note the final few hours to round out the 10 hours for that day, and we will have entered our time. I'm going to go ahead and enter one more. Let's say that our work was single phase energized new construction. I'm going to make a quick selection and change the grounding on my new entry to reflect additional work. Let's say involve conductor stringing and clipping. I've entered the hours associated with my final bit of work of clipping and conductor. I've certainly used a bucket and involved single phase new construction. Go ahead and hit save. It will update the work performed on August 6th. We now have 10 hours of work performed we've counted for, and they're listed here, what's associated with each of the work efforts. We continue on for each day worked, whether it's a weekday or weekend. Note those. If it's overtime, in an overtime situation, again, you're only accounting for the hours that are in that 24-hour period. Once I've entered time for the month, I'm good. I have through the 10th day of the following month to complete that. Once that 10th day comes, Albat will sweep the timesheets and approve them, and they'll be submitted. Once submitted, you won't be able to enter time again for that particular month. Once you've entered your time for the month, simply close the app. That completes the instructional video for the Timesheet app.